Boats, boats, boats! Brisbane Yamaha knows boats.
A big part about living in Australia is our fantastic outdoors. There's not too many places in the world that can offer you something like we do. And of course, some of the roads that we have to get along to get to those places are pretty rough. So before we even put this boat in the water, it's worthwhile looking at this heavy duty trailer and a few of the characteristics to keep in mind before you hit the beaten track. Creek crossings, non-existent boat ramps and rough roads are the big things that you face when you hit the tracks. So you can see we've got a decent off-road trailer with big tyres on it, and that gives us some clearance to start with. You'll also see it tracks at the same height as my Land Cruiser in this case, which gives us a nice level towing field. So when you go in and out the creek crossings, the thing to keep in mind is when you go in, you don't want the drawbar to hit, and when you come out, you don't want the rear end to rip off. So plenty of height all the way through. If you've ever gone on some of those tracks, you know some of the most common things that you see are mud guards, number plates and light assembly. So the higher you can have them, the better off you be. Remember, we're going to drop down creeks too that haven't got any boat ramps. So you're down over the riverbank, that's again where these bigger tyres come into play. You also want plenty of support on your trailer and plenty of areas to tie down. So you can see we've got skids here, centre rollers, the mesh platform down the centre. You've got to remember some of these creeks are very muddy, so you don't want to sink up to your knees in mud or be trying to get to the boat to pull it in and out on the trailer if there's crocodiles or stingers around, that type of thing. So all little things to keep in mind before you get a decent trailer to hit the tracks. As with any boat, you should think about what you're going to use the boat most for. This boat's 4.8 metres long. We've got a decent sort of motor on the back, 80 horsepower 4-stroke, 70 litres of fuel under the floor. So it's not just long range trips, Cape York, the Gulf, areas like that this boat's designed for. It's fishing those inshore areas and the bay areas where you often have to travel a bit of distance. You want plenty of room to fish around in, the horsepower and the fuel so you don't have a cluttered deck. What's more, it performs nice too. It's got the Quintrex flared bow, so you don't get wet when you're travelling along. No problems at all getting up onto the plane. A lot of the time if you put too small a motor on the boat, sure we can get away with a 60 or 70 horsepower on this boat, but you run at higher revs, so you run at a higher fuel consumption. So a lot of the time running it towards that higher end of where the boat's rated to its horsepower is more beneficial for fuel economy. And also there might be times too where you've got this loaded up with camping gear. You're going to head up a river or somewhere up an inlet like this where you load all your gear in and unload it. You don't want it to burden down and struggle to get up on the plane. When you look at powering your boat, there's something you should always keep in mind, and that's reliability and life of the engine. Yamaha have got a very good reputation for that, and this 80 horsepower 4-stroke, 4-cylinder, electronic fuel injection, and what I love about this, you just turn the key and it starts. In gear, revs back, drop back nice and quiet. So fairly gutsy engine for its size, so that gives you a good power to weight ratio on the boat, and very smooth through the acceleration. It's just nice when you put the boat at the boat ramp and you can turn the key and it just fires up. So we've got the multifunctional digital instrument readout on the front. It's got everything that I need to know. The speed, doing 36 RPM, 37 kilometres an hour, 2.8 kilometres per litre. Shows the trim, fuel, tank, voltage output, oil level, all in that one little dash, that little gauge there. The beauty of a gauge like that, it enables you to work out the range and your fuel economy. So at this speed we're averaging 2.6 to 2.8 kilometres per litre. We've got 70 litres of fuel in the back there, so you're getting 140, 150 kilometre range. So allow for a bit bumpy conditions and working the motor a bit hard. You can have a pretty big day out in the water if you're going to travel 100 to 140 kilometres. So of course every fisherman's got plenty of fishing rods to keep. And it doesn't take much to get $400 or $500 worth of rod and reel. So this rod locker in at the side is a great way to keep the rods. So you can have a good selection in there where they're not going to get stood on. And it's not just while you're fishing too, it's while you're travelling. We talked about before hitting those off-road tracks. It's nice to know your rods and reels are all nicely stored in there, and your crab pots and your eskies and your tackle boxes and the like aren't going to fall on them. You can also lock these too, and it's good that the strap there stops that from falling down. The rods and reels in there, that folds down, and you can just lock that. Live baiting, somewhere to keep your frozen baits, a bit of extra gear. We've got our live well in the back here. Drains out the back. Controls at the front here just to turn that pump on and off. Personally, I'm quite fond of a full height transom, especially on a boat where you're going to go and fish some inshore areas that might have a bit of ocean swell. You don't have that slop or the worry of the slop coming over into the back of the boat, which can and does happen at times when you've got a big motor and a low cut transom. The other advantage is calm water like this gives you somewhere to sit. We've got our platform at the back, so if you need to get in and out or you're going to do a bit of swimming, the platforms are there, ladder there, and all your controls and cables are under here. You can put a little bit more storage in here. Great places for your tackle boxes, your batteries and the like, where they're out of the way and easily accessed. That way it keeps the rest of the boat to move around and fish. And let's face it, when you buy a boat to go fishing, that's what you want. You want to move around and fish. While the side console is nice and compact, and of course over to the side out the way, it doesn't give you an overly lot of room to put some decent electronics. The side mount on the here for your big Humminbird unit, GPS, plotter, sounder, allows you to do that. And it just pivots out the way. You can also spin it right round the other way, so if you are up the front fishing, you can look at the one unit. So a good little added on extra that. Underneath we've got room for our feet, but the beauty of it is being open, the side console, you can slide in your larger things like your tent poles if you're going away, some other fishing rods along here, eskies and things like that, where you want them tucked out the way but you still need to get readily access to them. These padded deluxe seats really are comfortable. In this boat we've got 4 different seating positions. It comes with 3 seats and they just click out and just slot into position. What you can sit up the front now and fish, or sit down the back, 360 degrees. Nice and comfortable. Other than your rod locker and your side pockets, the bulk of the storage is up under this front casting platform. 2 side ones, safety gear, jackets, the likes. In the centre here, this one's actually been adapted into a big wet tank, so you can pump the water from the back into here. A lot of guys that fish tournaments where it's a catch and release will keep their fish live in here, then it drains back out through the back. So a couple of options you can use that for: a big wet tank or for storage. This boat actually has a big Minn Kota mounted on the front, so we've got our big dual batteries here. If you're not running your electric motor, there's more storage under there, and of course our anchor well up the front. You'd be surprised how much gear you can actually fit in these if you get the right storage containers to slot in there. And again, that says a lot for being able to keep a nice clear deck to move around and fish from. A nice clear deck is a safe deck. If you'd like to check out this Quintrex Top Ender, drop in and see the boys at Brisbane Yamaha. You can have a look at this boat and any others in the range.
Hi, I'm Aaron Goodchild, the owner of Brisbane Yamaha. And you would have seen Brisbane Yamaha from the highway as you drive past. But there's a whole lot more that happens here behind the gates. Over the next couple of minutes, I'm going to run you through Brisbane Yamaha to have a look at our huge range of Quintrex boats on display. Baysports, the most popular fiberglass boat in Queensland. We have a massive range of used boats, used outboards, and obviously we're famous for being the largest Yamaha dealer in Australia. We've also got a massive chandlery with a full display of Yamaha accessories. We have in-house finance, a dedicated sales team who will find the right boat for you. We'll then run through into the workshop. We have state-of-the-art workshop with 8 mechanics. We have our in-house trim shop. Anything you need to do with a boat, Brisbane Yamaha does it in-house. As you walk into the yard, you'll notice a huge ocean of boats. We have the full range of Quintrex. Quintrex is the largest selling aluminium boat in Australia. Quintrex are known for their quality. They're known as being the finest aluminium boat built in Australia. And Brisbane Yamaha is very proud to sell them. We're Australia's largest selling dealer. We have the full range on display. Whether you're a caravanner looking for a car topper, a first-time boatie looking for a tinny, a family looking for a runabout, a bow rider, maybe you're a fisherman and want a top ender, or the ever-popular Triton range of half cabins. We have them on display, ready for you to have a look at. If you're looking for a fiberglass boat, Brisbane Yamaha is the sole distributor for Queensland for Baysport boats. Baysport is the biggest selling fiberglass boat brand in Queensland for a reason. Fantastic ride, built in Queensland in Noosa for Queensland conditions, and incredible value. Brisbane Yamaha has the full range on display, from the 5-metre runabout to the 6.4 offshore weapon. Within the Baysport range, there is a boat to suit your family and your budget. From whether this 585 weekender that comes fully equipped to sleep overnight, go and spend the weekend at Tangalooma. Fantastic time with your family. Brisbane Yamaha has the full range on display. If you're looking for a fiberglass boat, do yourself a favour and come and have a look at the range. And if a new boat's not to your fancy and you're looking for a second-hand boat, we have a massive range of used boats. You've probably heard us on the radio. We buy boats, only quality, we test them in our workshop, and we supply warranty on them for your peace of mind. If you're looking for any sort of used boat, from a couple of $1,000 tinny through to a $100,000 megaship, we'll have it here at Brisbane Yamaha. Brisbane Yamaha is the largest selling Yamaha dealer in Australia, but we also carry a large range of quality tested used outboards. Brisbane Yamaha is famous for its Yamaha sales. We're the biggest Yamaha dealer in Australia. We have 300 Yamahas in stock. We already have your Yamaha. We have a full display of Yamaha outboards, from the ever-popular portable range, 2-stroke or 4-stroke, up to big V6s. We also have the full range of Yamaha accessories and rigging, gauges, control boxes, props. We have the full range of Yamaha accessories, life jackets, cow covers. We have oils and sprays. We also have a full range of electronics that we've chosen and we consider the best in the market. We also have a large range of parts. If you're looking for a genuine Yamaha part, come and see us. Mark, our parts interpreter, has over 25 years of experience. If you're looking for electronics or you're looking for a Yamaha part, Mark's the man to find it for you. Brisbane Yamaha knows boats, and one of the reasons we know boats is because of our highly trained, highly experienced sales staff. Peter has over 20 years of selling boats. Justin set an Australian record and sold over 400 Yamahas last year. And Paul McNaught has been around the boating industry for longer than he wants to admit. We have over 5 salesmen here, plus some part-timers. Whatever boat you're looking at, whatever the application, how it's going to affect your family, our sales team can find you the right boat for your lifestyle. And if you're interested in finance, Brisbane Yamaha are the largest YMF dealers in Australia, because we have the best business manager in the business, Bill Catling. With over 30 years experience, Bill Catling will get you in that boat sooner.